constant comparisons. When it came to like my skin color, I was hearing everything left and right. Well, you know, she's darker, or she's the darkest one in the group, or she's a really chocolate one. I would always hear that.
You know, I need a white woman because I've just about had it with you black girls.
I want to be the white girl that they chose, because then I realize I'm never going to be the white girl because I'm a brown girl. And they're never going to pick the brown girl because she's going to be the best friend. Or like just in general, the woman of color is going to be that quirky best friend, and not the one that they choose.
Where there might be 3 or 4 sisters over there, they are all attractive. But the dark sister, in some cases, stunningly beautiful. Stunningly beautiful. And the brother would always go to one of the lighter ones just because she was like.
I remember the whole stadium was 99% white people, and they were all booing. It was racial slurs used. It was loud. It was like this echo. It was so loud I could feel it in my chest.
An American crowd booing an American family, and you have to say that it does smack of a little bit of racism.
Hi guys. I'm Samuela Lilas Wabedila.
My name is Aisha Lucia Hack.
Tanya Winona Thompson.
Talia Tuzinde.
My name is Paulina Granger.
I was born in Rwanda.
I'm originally from Namibia. I was born there.
I'm from India. On my dad's side, I'm mostly Irish, English, and Scottish.
But I'm a Mohaya. Half of me is a Mohaya, and my father, German.
In the community I grew up in Namibia, it was full of like all races. There was white people, black people, and so many others. I felt more confident there just because everyone looked like me, so I didn't feel like I'm always standing out. I grew up with like a feminist mom. She was very upholding about like keeping my natural hair and being who I am. Like, I was standing out more. It would just be, oh, that person looks like me. The beauty would just be like what you wear and how you put yourself together.
Racially growing up, I would say that in my own home life, I had a lot of black people surrounding me. My mom was a hairdresser, so a lot of the times we had different type of people coming around our house. They showed me different foods, different cultures within the black community. It was really amazing. But compared to my out of home life, I would say that the black community was scarce. It was hard because like I'd gone from like seeing so much beauty in my own culture to not really seeing that outside. And so learning how to like manage that was very difficult.
So I grew up in a biracial household, as you can imagine, but everybody around me was mostly, Tanzanian, black. I stood out maybe a little bit because of my lightness of skin, but I felt very much like an African child as well. I felt like I was amongst the majority. And I took that feeling for granted until I left, right? And I was very glad that my life started off being grounded in that identity. Yeah. I was very much steeped in what African beauty was and what its ideals were. Very different from the Western ideal of beauty. And I'm glad that I grew up amongst that.
I've always been insecure about my hair. As I said, my mom was more of a person that was like, you need to have your natural hair out, like embrace it, be who you are. But when I came to Canada, I would see a lot of people with just like their own natural hair, which was just straight. And I would have like really curly afro-y hair, and I was like, oh, I need to fit in. So I would like get my hair straightened, and it just didn't feel like me at all because it just wasn't me at all. I liked getting my hair done like braids and like having my afro out. So those like the little things like really just made me feel more insecure, even though I technically was fitting in.
I feel like every day I do things to kind of fit the Western beauty standard. Like it's just like, it's not even things we think about. Like it's like the way I style my hair every day. I get less hate comments when I style my hair like this versus when I have my curls out actually. Like I work as a server. Somebody told me not to serve them with my curls out. That same day somebody told me I looked like I was getting electrocuted. I do try and fit into like the beauty standard, more of the Western way, but I don't think it's out of like hate for myself or anything like that. I think it just makes my life easier.
You know, like you just see in the media so much, like not all the women, but a lot of women who get a lot of attention, you know, they're like the classic skinny, blue-eyed, blonde, white woman. And so that can like, you know, it just is the same people, the same look over and over again. You're like, oh, like, that's not me.
Like, it was so hard not to not like these features about myself, you know? And I feel like, for instance, there was things that I used to be more insecure about, like my nose or my forehead or, you know, the tan of the color of my skin. Like, I didn't like the way it was tanned, or like just little features about like that where it was hard to accept them. But at the same time, like, now I would say that like my energy towards my blackness is way different, and that's because I think social media and surrounding myself with more black people, because I feel like before my friend groups were more whitewashed or just a lot of white people in those friend groups, and because of that, like, it was hard to see myself represented amongst that friend group, and I felt like I was kind of like separate from that. I used to straighten my hair every single day, actually. I did like myself more that way, but it almost became hard to like myself in my original form, in my original hair, with my original hair, because like I straightened it so much and I damaged it so much, where it was like, oh, like, how could I like my curls in a way?
Movies. Let's look at Hollywood, for instance. And the first people who were of the black race who were kind of given permission to be in front of the camera and be in movies and have a big role were the Harry Belafontes, and they were light-skinned, right? They were the first people who got entrance into that world because of the way they looked.
On a scale, you're more Eurocentric leaning, right? I think you're just favored in general, right? I think this is something that's everywhere, not only here in predominantly white countries and cities like Victoria, but even back home, I think. And this is something that's really close to my country, because ethnic division is a big thing in the history of my country, and the influence of Europe and the influence of Western powers in defining what's deemed as beautiful has just left a long-lasting impact in every sense.
Being African, of course, we have fuller figures, you know, curvier figures. Especially living in the West, you know, it's always clear that's not necessarily the ideal beauty standard. When you're young especially, it affects how you feel about yourself, whether you feel attractive or desirable. I've straightened my hair. I've gone on crazy diets to try and look a certain way, for sure. But also recognizing as time went by that these were standards of beauty that were very narrow. They were not steeped in my identity, for sure, you know. Where fuller figures meant you were healthier, that you were attractive, that you were, you were normal in that way. Show me a woman who has no doubts about how she looks or what her body looks like. I mean, through the ages, I've gone through all sorts of feelings around that.
It was so hard to be myself. Like, it was so difficult to stand up for the things I believed in, because it felt like I was almost going crazy, because everyone else around me thought that I was crazy for thinking, oh, BLM is a good thing, you know? Like, it was little things like that. And I remember, like, specifically in class, there was one day where a student brought up how BLM was stupid, and the teacher did nothing. The students did nothing either. Nobody did anything. And I remember like going home and bawling my eyes out, but knowing that I couldn't do anything because the students or the teachers were the students' parents. So there was nothing you could do. I almost not had to keep my mouth shut, but was silenced in a way.
You know, from just little things like making myself quieter because I feel like I can't take up a ton of space in places, or already do take up too much space, which, you know, I don't, but there's that feeling.
Like, I would say like I face a lot of microaggressions of like, oh my gosh, you're so loud, you're so angry, like, and it's just me being bubbly or me expressing myself, or just like little things like that that I feel that nobody else would really like. It would be interpreted as a cute or like funny side for a white person, which is not really the same for me.
One thing I would say is that I like changed my accent, and I used to have like a strong like South African accent, and then I completely lost it because I would like try to fit in so I could sound more like people, because like people wouldn't understand me when I had my accent on. And my parents still have it, and it's like hard for them to like talk to other people because people are like, where's this accent from? So I really wanted to lose that accent, and I regret it every day because it's like now I can't talk to the people back home because they're like, oh, now you're super whitewashed, and it's like, whatever.
For me personally, like, you know, there is like a good side and then a very dark side to social media, where there's a lot of like influencers and people that are super body positive, and like, you know, I have seen some like really nice stuff on social media that's like, whoa, like I'm not alone in this, you know, being mixed race and whatever, and being a woman of color, and other women of color also deal with and experience these things. But I think like overall, the overarching kind of message from social media and like the standards of beauty on social media are inherently like quite problematic and Eurocentric, and ultimately do not make me feel good about myself. Yeah.
Most of the things I watch is more of like Black people and how they do their hair, or it like actually gives me tips on how to like be myself, because like sometimes I don't know how to do my hair properly. It's like, oh, this is how you do your hair, this is how you do your makeup for a Black person. It's like always like I search up things like how to, an example, like how do I want to do my hair today, but I always have to end with like Black girl at the end every single time, because if I put cute hairstyles, it's just gonna be full of white people instead of like my own skin color. So I just always have to put Black girl.
I think social media taught me that there's so many beautiful women, like Beyonce, there's just so many beautiful women that I see in my daily life on social media when I scroll on my phone, and it's like Rihanna, she literally makes, or there's so many comments about how she has a big forehead and nobody says nothing about her, you know, she's beautiful, or like all these different celebrities that I see in my daily life with these same features that I'm insecure about, but I love them on on other individuals. So I think throughout my life, I've learned to love my features. There's another side of social media where I think like is very, very stereotypical. I feel like social media only really like shows Black people either through like slavery and past traumas, or through like the music industry and like rapping culture and stuff. And like that's the only two places I ever see Black people.
The constant peer pressure, to look a certain way, to have a certain life, to put it all on show, and constantly to seek validation from the outside gaze. If you have self-esteem issues, if you have identity issues especially, I think it becomes very hard not to buy into that, about what it means to fit into this narrow ideal. So I think we should always be vigilant about that, especially if you have young children, young women in your lives.
Yeah, like that. They've been criticizing us, and they've been taking our culture, and they've been fetishizing us. It's such a weird mixture of like low-key obsessed, but they want to pretend they're not obsessed. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like, oh, you want to take all of our culture, you want to take all these aspects, you want to like, but then you want to be like, oh, but I'm better, I'm the better version. Like it feels like an obsessive friend that like wants to be me, but is insecure and like trying to figure out their life, and it's really stressful, like because I don't know how to act.
So there's definitely a lot of hard things that come with being a woman of color. You know, I think it can be really hard for us to just be seen as more than, you know, our physical appearances a lot of the time, and to be taken seriously in a lot of ways and more than just very much an object. Yeah. So yeah, that's a big one for sure, is just people, the way that they view you and then treat you because of that. When I was quite young, like, I wanted to be white, and I would think about, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna like have kids with a white man in the future and they'll be so white and beautiful. So like, even from such a young age, it's been like, whiteness is beautiful, and that was like something to really seek out.
A challenge of being a woman of color to me is always like having to be the best in everything you do. There's never a time where you just sit there and you can be like everyone else. You can be average, but they won't notice you if you're just average. They only notice that you're black, that's it. So you really need to put yourself out there by like the way you dress, the way you're smart at school, things you do outside school, like if you're involved in the community, just put yourself out there. Like, you're doing the most just to like be in the same level as everyone else, and it's really hard doing that all the time. It's quite stressful.
Being a woman of color, being also living in Canada around as an immigrant woman, so I come from somewhere else, born somewhere else. For sure, I see the difference in which we are treated, in how we are valued, you know, in our place in society. It's always been clear, and if you can't see it, I don't know where you're living. You must be living under a rock.
Victoria, I stand out a lot more than I do in like another diverse place. Like, if I was in another place like Africa, it would be, oh, it's just another black girl, it's not like a big deal. But here, if people see me, they always find a way to like touch my hair and be like, I've never seen such a thing like this. Like, it must be so patient just sitting there doing your hair all the time. It's like, please stop touching me.
I think my self-image would be better if I lived in like black populated area. If I had black people surrounding me, because I feel so beautiful. Like, I cannot like even describe the sense of pride I feel when I'm walking around with a group of black people.
If I had a crush on someone and they're not the same race as me, or they just don't like black girls, it would be like, oh, I like you. I don't like you. Why? Because look at you, you're black. And it's like, oh, okay, thanks. Like, and then there's always gonna be like the other white girl with blue eyes, blonde hair that they go to all the time. And it's like, okay, thanks.
I remember specifically, there was this guy who would constantly call my friend a monkey, like every day at school. And like, that was his joke. And the craziest part, and like, he'd always make fun of the fact that like she was so dark, and be like, oh my gosh, she's so dark, like she's so this, she's so that. And just the craziest part to me was his mom was darker. So it's like, if you think this way about other black women and you're constantly making fun of other black women, and you have an amazing, beautiful, dark-skinned mom, like, it doesn't add up in my brain. Learn how to respect our sisters, bro, like, because what is going on?
For a long time, you know, I feel like I felt like not that attractive because of my race in a lot of ways. And so I think because of that own kind of inner critic that I had, like, that can also, you know, just play a part on like how you act in situations and stuff like that, and then how other people can view you.
There's always a question as a woman growing up or moving in the world that you always ask yourself, is somebody attracted to me because I look different, or because I'm from another race? It's a question that you should ask yourself, and you've had to ask yourself at some point in life, right?
I would always be scared to meet like my partner's parents, because I'm like, what if they don't like black people? It's always like a thought that's behind my head, even though like that's usually never the case, but it's always what I'm thinking, like, what if they just don't like me because I'm black? Or what do I have to do to fit in? Like, if I was because all their like dating histories are like white women, and it's like, I'm just that one black girl, and it's like, are they just dating me to like try out new things? Am I an experiment? Like, every time these thoughts like hit me, all the time, and it's like, I'm just gonna stay single because I don't want to think about this at all.
Oh, I have this fear of white men for two reasons. Like, because they're either really they fetishize black women to the biggest extent, or like, I'm scared they just hate me. I've heard it. Like, I've heard the comments of, oh, like, I would never date a black girl. Like, I've heard the comments of, oh, like, I only date snow bunnies. It's never, oh, I like snow bunnies. Like, I like white girls, you know? It's never that. It always has to, like, they always have to bring up black beauty, black women's beauty in specific, to prove their point that white women are prettier. And it's just weird. I feel like I don't see the same, like, love and respect for black women in the light-skinned sense that I do for black men. Light-skinned men are praised, and, like, not, and it's weird. Like, it's genuinely, I feel like there's less going on with women, and maybe that, like, shows our society and how they view women.
A bunch of, like, those guys that would just sit there and then they would, like, be rating girls that walk by. And one time I overheard them, they, like, started rating another black girl that goes to my school, and they're like, I'll give her a solid 2. She thinks she's smarter than everyone. She's too cocky. She's always dressing better than everyone. Who does she think she is? And then another girl walked by, and she ended up being white with blonde hair, and she just had sweatpants on, and she didn't look like as good as the other black girl, but she walked by and they're like, yeah, she's a 10 out of 10. She's so simple. Like, look at her. Like, she's skipping class right now. She's just perfect. I love her. Like, what? Like, what is going on here? Totally been with one black person, and they were an interesting person because they were like, oh, I like you more with your natural hair, so I'd wear it more. And then they'd be like, no, don't do that again. It's like, what? But yeah.
I also definitely think that I tend to be more attracted to white people because of, you know, my own insecurities around being a person of color and what I've been fed my whole life, that, like, you know, the most beautiful people are white and blonde or whatever, and, like, oh my god, I've just, like, my type for so long was, like, white blonde woman with blue eyes. Like, it's scary. You can see how it just impacts you so much. Yeah.
I'm not approached as much as my white friends, just in general, right? I don't get as much attention, but it's also not something that I think about as much. But yeah, it's just not the same as black women. Earlier in my high school years, I didn't have the best friend group, and I didn't have people that made me feel as valued as they were, and I was the only black girl in my friend group, and I didn't feel like as pretty as them, right? But as of now, I think I'm really lucky to be around people that really value me for who I am, but also don't make me think about who I am too much and just treat me like everyone else, which is something really important. And being able to choose my environment is just such a blessing.
I haven't dated online yet, but I've heard enough stories that if you're a woman of color trying to date online, it's very clear that the majority of people out there are not necessarily of your race, right? And so it becomes clear very quickly how many likes you might be getting as opposed to somebody else, because you might not necessarily be the kind of woman the majority is looking for, right? I remember when I went to the States for the first time, I never really understood the race relationships like I did because I grew up in Africa where the majority was black. So going into a country where it was very clear that race relations and history had played a huge part in how people felt about themselves, you know. Dating across racial lines was a huge thing that I hadn't encountered before. The fact that I would date a white guy in college in the States was almost like a political statement. Black men and black women questioning why you were essentially letting the race down, you know, by dating a white person. And because I was light-skinned, I was sometimes seen as a threat when I dated black men. Like I remember going into a party, for instance, and being confronted in the bathroom by other darker skinned sisters by saying, why was I, looking at their man? Who did I think I was? And I had no idea where it came from when I first went to the States. I was like, what do you mean? Having lighter skin being an unearned advantage that you have to be aware of sometimes, and how that can play out in social settings. Things that you have to be on guard on and about that I didn't have to be on guard about necessarily back home.
I feel like I have to fake it to make it. Like, always have to put in like a confident, just be confident, but also like if I'm too confident, they think I'm too cocky. I know I'm pretty, but I also have to be like in the middle where I'm like, oh, I'm humbled, but I know that I am like pretty too. So it's like having that confidence. And a lot of people I know that are like same as me struggle with that, because everywhere they go, they'll always be the second choice. Like everything you do, you'll always be the second choice. And it's like you just have to be confident and like try to be your best, like be on top of everyone else, like all the time.
Skinny, blue-eyed, blonde woman.
Slimmer body type, straighter hair, lighter eyes, narrower features.
Black women would be at the bottom, like I said, and so that complete opposite would be white women at the top. Oh no, I don't. Not at all.
Like, I've always felt very, very far away from the beauty standard, probably further away than I actually am.
No, I do not fit this ideal, but I do think I'm more than that. I don't have to put myself in like something that boys want, or like I just need to be myself and then it's all good.
After BLM, I was low-key terrified of white people. Like, seeing how they could act, seeing my friends turn on me and like post White Lives Matter on their stories, like seeing all those. I remember specifically on like when everybody posted black screens for Black Lives Matter, one of my friends posted a white screen on his story and like kept it up. Like, I just resorted to making jokes and being angry at them and hating on them. And I felt like that stemmed from a sense of insecurity and from like, I feel that it's almost like when you're being bullied in school or when people are saying mean things to you, you'll say things like, whatever, I don't care, And it was almost like that, but with like the way they acted towards me. It was like, whatever, I don't care, you guys suck too. And like, that's not a mindset that will fix anything.
We're always trying to satisfy the outside gaze. Many times it's also the male gaze, what's beautiful to them or what's considered beautiful, right? But then you get to a stage in your life where you get to know yourself better, right? And feel beautiful despite what the outside says is beautiful. I'm glad I've gotten to that stage now, right?
I think like whenever I choose to wear my afro, like I'm kind of insecure with my hair sometimes, and so like I don't really choose to wear it out too much. But like when I do, like I feel so beautiful. Like I'm like, oh wait, this isn't even scary. Like, but like whenever I choose to wear out my afro, like I think it's me choosing to combat Eurocentric beauty standards. Like it's like me showing, oh guys, look at this crown.
Most of the other women of color who I know that also have a lot of dark upper lip hair shave it off. And so that definitely felt like I was going against that. And like another thing is my eyebrows that I like just kind of leave in their natural state, that I definitely could, like pluck and shape and whatever. But yeah, I'm into Frida Kahlo, want to rock the unibrow, yeah.
It was my graduation and I was like, I want to stand out, so I'm going to wear my traditional African dress, which was like a really big deal because it's a vibrant pink color, so you can spot me from a mile away. And I walked into school the first time being really nervous because I had my afro out and then I had the dress on. And I was like, oh, they're definitely gonna say something about what I'm wearing right now. So I went up to like my class, walked in, and then everyone was like, oh, you look really pretty. Like, this dress is so your color. And like, it made me feel so much better about myself because I felt more accepted with like my true self.
Definitely, I think that when I moved to Victoria, instead of wanting to have straight hair because, you know, that's what I was exposed to, that's what people around me had, I decided to just embrace my natural hair. I had my sister, who's really close in age, who also wanted to get into this journey with me. And so we did the big chop and we started growing out our natural hair. And for the past 5 years, I've been wearing out my natural hair in between protective hairstyles. So I think that that's a big achievement because in a place where I could have been more insecure about my hair or could have wanted to change my hair or alter it to fit the, you know, the norm, I decided to just embrace my hair. What I love the most about my ethnic background and culture is definitely, I just feel a big sense of pride of where I'm from. My country, specifically Rwanda, just went through such a terrible history during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis. And to be born after that, to be born in 2007, long after it, but not that long, I've just been able to see that constant resilience in my country, that constant, you know, just, and that's where I get my source of pride, right? Like being able to see how the people of my country, how my closest family, like even my parents who were in that genocide and lost so many family members, to see how they still live their life and they still have that large sense of hope and happiness is truly like where I get the biggest sense of pride, to be like, if that can happen to them and they can still live like a faith-filled life or like a happy life, I should be able to do that. And I'm so proud of the people of my country for how economically developed it is, how just, yeah, and that's where I get my pride from.
There's so many things on my Indian side. I love just the culture there, you know, the warmness and openness and how everyone is referred to as family, and yeah, just like the food, the spices, the vibrant colors.
Everywhere we went when I was young was like every business or like government was all like organized by women. So it would just be Black women everywhere you go. And it's like this mindset for me growing up was like, I want to be a leader. I want to be a Black woman that's a leader, like in charge of all of these people telling men what to do. Like no matter what race you are, like I wanted to be in charge. And that really like shaped me to who I am right now, where I'm in cadets and I'm like the highest rank right now because I always wanted to be a Black woman in charge, like all of the time.
I would say the community. I feel like a lot of the times there's a lot of sharing and a lot of talking and a lot of laughter that we experience together.
Something about Africans is their quickness to laugh and to joy, despite some of the hardships that, you know, people endure. So there's a lightness of being, and I forget about that until I go to visit again. You know? And you can see it in the young kind of children, vibrant, full of life, curious, wanting to know who you are, to say hello. There's that lightness and joy that's part of the African nature that I love. Time takes you to get there. I feel beautiful. I feel like I've come into my own. I'm comfortable in my own skin, in my own uniqueness. And that is also based on parts of myself that have nothing to do with my appearance, you know, a self-confidence because of the work that I do in the community and how I serve, because of how I show up for my own family and my friends, You know, it's outside of what you see on the surface. So I am comfortable with who I am, and I think I am a beautiful woman.
Definitely do feel beautiful, and this is like something that I've been able to get to in the last couple of years. I think high school specifically is the time for girls where we're just so like in our head about how we look, what we should wear, and all these different things. And I've learned to just be proud of who I am, embrace the different parts of me that don't conform to the ideals, or parts of me that are different. So yeah, it's taken me a lot to get there. Something that's really shaped this understanding for me is also my faith. I'm a Christian, and I strongly believe that we are all made perfectly. We are all made perfectly in the image of Christ. And I think that to me, that not only made me feel beautiful, but it also made me see beauty in everyone else. And knowing that regardless of all our differences, sizes, shapes, races, we're all just beautiful in our own ways.
I do feel beautiful, and it's taken a lot. It's taken a lot of unlearning of what beautiful means, and it's taken a lot of self-work internally, like not external stuff, you know what I mean? But a lot of like getting to know myself and my own mind better through like meditation and stuff. That's ultimately really helped me in just my confidence and feeling like I know who I am and how I want to express myself. And then through that outward expression, feeling beautiful.
I would say yes. Look at me. It took a lot of like self-talk to get to this point, because as soon as I came to Victoria, I really felt like I was the ugliest person in the room, just because of how different I was, and I would stand out all the time, and I just wanted to be like everyone else, like with the straight hair and everything. And it took a lot of like putting myself out there and just being like confident with who I am, like faking it till I made it. And it really worked out, because at the end of the day, I was like, what's the point of like trying to fit in when I can just be different? Because being different is so much better.
Yes, I feel beautiful. I would say that I think in some sense, I wouldn't say that was hard for me. Like, I wouldn't say that it was a difficult task for me, like maybe some other women. I think that because I had like 5 like black like girls in my household, and then I also had aunties and uncles over constantly. Like my mom was a hairdresser. Like I had I met all these different people, and so I had seen so much black beauty in my life. Like I wasn't really insecure of my black beauty, you know, and I wasn't too like, there was things that every once in a while I'd be like, oh, like it kind of sucks that my nose is big, but it was never that deep for me, you know, like it didn't go further than that. So I think like I could say that I've always loved myself.
Well, the funny thing is that these standards are fluid, right? As soon as you buy into one standard of beauty, of what's considered beautiful, it changes. So that should go and show you that there's not just one way of being and feeling beautiful, that it's not static, it's dynamic. And more importantly, it really does, I know it sounds cliche, it should shine through and come from within. You know, that's the only kind you can really count on. And it's based on concrete values that are dear to you and people that you love and people that love you too. Don't buy into that narrow ideal of what's considered beautiful, especially when it's based on Western ideals. The things that make you unique are what make you beautiful. Celebrate those, especially if they hearken to your heritage. That's about knowing who you are, where you come from. Those are things that have been celebrated in your culture for many, many years.
No matter what people say, or no matter what you do, being different is so okay. Like, you can always stand out. It's like you being unique. Like, don't change anything about yourself, just be who you are. Like, it's really important to just be yourself, and like that's one thing that my mom always told me, helped me so far. So just always be yourself.
Your bodies are your own. And I think when you look at your own bodies, as not necessarily always in service of somebody else or something else, motherhood, or because you're going to be a romantic partner, but look at your bodies as powerful, useful tools that are functional, but that do something. You play a sport, they play an instrument, they're strong, they can protect, they can build, they can create. I think that's when real power in ourselves and yourselves will be clear, so that it's outside of also the masculine gaze and the gaze in service always of society. I think we belong to ourselves before we belong to anybody else. We belong to ourselves before we belong to anybody else.
For me personally, what has helped me get to this place, specifically, is my faith in Jesus, my faith as a Christian, knowing that we are just all made perfectly in His image, and that we are just all individually perfect. And so I think that it's important for every woman watching this to know that you are perfect. And regardless of if you want to change yourself, or you want to align to Eurocentric beauty standards like we talked about, you're never going to get to a point where you're happy from seeking that. And so you should seek validation from yourself, within yourself, seeking validation from things that truly matter instead of things that don't.
It's okay to feel insecure, first of all. Everybody feels insecure in different ways. And it's hard to accept who you are, but there's a reason why so many people love you and think you're beautiful and respect you and see all these amazing qualities in yourself. It can be hard to look at yourself every day and like be so familiar with your body and not like feel some sort of way about it. But the thing is, like, at the end of the day, we are made who we are for a reason. There's a reason God gave us this body. There's a reason God gave us these curves and this amazing, beautiful like hair. And so, like, just know that, like, just love yourself and be gentle with yourself and give yourself a little bit of grace.
Of course, you know, we're conditioned to believe that as a woman of color, and women just in general, we're not beautiful enough. But, like, we're literally, like, so much more unique. Like, you're gorgeous. And if you're able to just love yourself as you are, then, like, that love is just gonna radiate everywhere. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?